So we'll take you on a little tour around the site here. We got over here is where the house used to be. You can see right through the bush here. It's pretty overgrown, but there's the foundations. It's right up over there. Pretty thick in there. And it's sort of L-shaped. Comes back. That's the corner. Follows this way. Somewhere through there. There's another corner of the house right here. And as you can see, they filled in the foundation with rubble and brick and stone and whatnot. This is the back. That's a rubble, old metal. I believe it was a two-story brick house. Kind of overgrown now. Coming over here, we have the well. We had some pretty good hard rain the other day, so the water level's up quite a bit. They use old railway rails to put on here, and then they put stone over it, and then cemented it over after that. It's about 8 to 10 feet deep. Probably about 5 feet wide. I think there's a lot of rubble, and it would be nice to explore it, but the water table is really high in this area, and I think you'd have to pump it out to really investigate. Now back off the corner is where you normally find the outhouse, and here you can clearly see the pit used to be. The water table's high, so it's sort of filling in the depression. I don't know if they had a double stall one here, but you can see the stones on the side that would have held up the house. On some of the other ones they use railway ties because there's no railway adjacent here, so it'd be nice to dig this, but the water table is pretty high. And right beside it I found this. It's looks like the globe glass of one of those railway lanterns. Purple, so it's from probably turn of the century, around there. First decade of. Pretty nice stuff. And this area through the bush, this was the old dump they used. They must have used it later because most of the garbage in here is from the 40s and 50s. So pots and enamel jars. It's interesting enamelware pots. Not too bad a shape, but it's got some holes in it. The lid looks decent. And most of the glass back here is not... Oh, this was a collection my son had gathered together of all the purple glass. So this stuff's a bit older. Jars, unfortunately nothing's intact. But there's some interesting stuff back here. And further back, and what I can see on 1953 aerial photograph is a trail back to this, which is another Privy pit. You can see the railway ties sort of rotted away on the sides, and all this mound here is the spoils that they would have dug out to create this pit in the first place. So I see quite a bit of spoils here, so maybe that's a fairly deep Privy pit. Have to explore it sometime. Probably have to be late summer when the water table's way down. But yeah, this whole bush area is all dumped. They must have. Well, it's late summer and we're back at the old farm site. We came back to try our hands at Privy dig. Let's go check out the. You saw earlier the water level in the well was much higher. It's down much more now. Still relatively high for this area, but I think we're down about 8 feet below the ground now. So I don't know how deep this is, but all I can see inside is wood floating. But it would be cool to throw a magnet in this at some point. So let's go off to our Privy spot and check it out. Alright, so Neil's joining us, and this is our Privy area. I showed you in the spring where we had water sitting in it. We've cleared out the brush. You can see it's a low area. I also probed it back then too, and it's definitely soft compared to the rest of the ground around. And there's lots of bits of stuff. You can see coal cinders and bits of glass. Maybe it was sometimes they had separate trash pits other than the Privy, but maybe they used it as maybe it was used as a trash one after. So we'll see what we have. Show us what you picked up, Neil, on the ground in this area. We got an older bottle. It's broken, but I'm not sure if it's applied. It's not an applied top, so it's probably 20s, 30s. We got this looks like a globe from a railway lantern. It's got the amethyst, so it's at least 100 years old. And some vitrified tile. We're gonna get into it, and we came out this evening, and it's getting dark earlier, so there's one last one, M&S-A, not sure what that is, but let's scratch the surface and see what we're into. Here we are, just scratching the surface. We're down about 6-8 inches, and we've come to a point where there's a discernible ash layer. Neil's found something interesting. Let's see. It's a peach pit. That's over 60 years old. These things don't ever seem to break down. That is quite cool. We will see what comes out of here next. Now here's a very weird find that came out of this ash layer here. It is a braid of hair. That is kind of that's a bit freaky. What do you think? Is it human? That is just strange. It does look like, I don't know. To me it kind of looks like real hair. If I can get it to focus here. Wow. That is strange.
Piece fell off.
But it's yeah, look, it's somewhat breaking down, but it seems to be well preserved after 60 or more years. Crazy stuff. We'll keep digging and see what we're fine. So we've dug. We're gonna start from this end. We've got a spot we dug down deep, and then we're just gonna pull material down and see what comes out. We just got a couple of interesting things. We got a top of a mason jar. I don't know what type it is, but it's not a ground top, so it's at least past 1900, early 20th century. And then we got this other piece of pottery. It's like a teacup or something. But yeah, maybe we're into 1920s, 1930s possibly. We'll get down a little deeper and see what see if we can see what age we're into. We pulled out our first intact bottle. It's medicine, and it looks like a little pill bottle to me. Not sure how old it is, but it's clear, so it can't be overly old. We've discovered something a little bit disconcerting. Down at the bottom here, I found what I think is the bottom. I hit a really hard layer and I dug into it, and it's kind of clay. Next time I'm going to bring my soil auger and see, maybe it's just a hard layer between layers, so we'll hope for that. But we'll continue on digging and see what happens. Looks like it's almost time to call it an evening. Neil's getting down into it. We got quite a bit of spoils pulled out. The only thing really we've found, there's nails, lots of coal cinders, but mostly we've just found these small little pill bottles. We also got this, I don't know, Indian rubber ball maybe? It's hard to say. We got this little part of a dish. Doesn't look too old. Yeah, peach pits. Quite interesting, but not a whole lot of intact stuff other than these tiny little pill bottles. Well, that's it for this evening. It looks like it's only a relatively shallow ash pit. I think it's only about 2 feet deep at most. It's got a really hard bottom. It's clay here, and it's pretty hard clay on the bottom. So I think this is the extent of this ash pit. Now we can start working our way back this way to that end. We do have, that is the end. We started working on that end. The native ground starts going upwards, so we're definitely at the end there. Yeah, we'll keep digging. We'll keep digging this another day and pulling all the material back and see what comes out. I will see you on the next trip, the next video. Bye for now.